Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to answer if Invitae stock is a buy, sell, or a hold. To answer that question, I'm going to look at its revenue, its profit, its cash flow, and its valuation. So let's get started looking at its revenue. And you can see Invitae Corp has done an excellent job boosting revenue. Its innovative genetic testing technology is really useful and it's not having difficulty increasing revenue. However, it has experienced a brief dip recently and revenue fell to 493.88 million as it has exited some businesses and is facing some headwinds with insurance providers. Nevertheless, the company's problem is not revenue growth, it's generating profits from its revenue. That's where it has a bigger challenge. So let's look at that right now. You look at the company operating profit margin negative 114%. And while I always mention that negative profit margins alone is not that bad of a signal, many innovative growth companies are losing money on the bottom line. However, what I like to see is progress towards profitability, something the company was demonstrating around 2015, 2016. You could see here that upward movement, right? But that has flatlined in recent years. Starting in 2019, you haven't seen very much progress from the company towards making progress to become profitable, and that's what I see as troubling is the big losses, negative 114%, and very little progress towards profitability. Now recently the company has made moves, like I mentioned, exiting some geographies, exiting some products, focusing on a certain area, cutting down office space and things like that to try and make progress on this front. Because finally, management realized that, hey, it's important to get this company on a self sustainable level because the cost of capital has risen so much in the last year and a half. And so it's those moves are more evident in the company's cash flow from operations, although they have not yet showed up very much in its operating margin. And that's typically the case, as when you make these big cost cuts, there's usually restructuring charges and other expenses, one time items. For example, let's say you've got a 3-year lease on an office space and you want to get out of that office space lease. Well, you've got a 3-year lease, but you can get out of it if you pay a one-time fee to the landlord, perhaps negotiate a one-time fee to get out of that 3-year lease. So you pay that one-time fee up front and that hurts your profit margin, but from there on out, you don't have to make that monthly lease payment, which helps your cash flow going forward. And that might be what we're seeing here with cash flow from operations turning around from negative 600 million up to negative 300 million for Invitae. At least it's moving in the right direction finally after several years of just moving in the wrong direction and getting worse at that. Finally, I wanted to look at valuation, and the stock is trading at the cheapest it has traded for in its history going back about a year at a forward price to earnings of 0.379. That's the lowest price in about a year. I shouldn't use the word history when using at this metric because we've only got about a year of look back data. And so, yes, while it's relatively cheap according to itself, if I was to answer whether or not the stock is a buy, sell, or a hold, I would lean closer to a hold because the company has not yet demonstrated it can operate this business profitably or at least make progress again on profitability. If it continues making progress on that front, I could see myself changing this recommendation because it does have innovative technology that's extremely useful in a vastly growing industry. So that part of the business is set. What it needs to do is get it on sustainable footing, get the efficiency right, get the price right, get the costs right, get that business right sized, and then we could talk about recommending this stock as a buy. But for now, I'm saying Invitae stock is a hold.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.